Let's have a conversation.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I hope your Mondays are going well so far. So, I sit here, I work remote, I have I have the feeds on in the background while I work. And, I have one ear on the feeds, I have one ear on my work. And, I'm working, I'm answering emails, I'm muted, I make my calls, I do whatever I have to do for work. And nothing much was really happening. It was just regular, some game talk, some filler talk. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm like, what is going on? Because Mama Felicia suddenly was turned up.
And after this vote today, anybody can turn around and flip everything. Because I see people pulling Cameron in the back. I see people pulling Red in the back. And so I know you guys are up to something. I'm just being straight. What are you up to?
And I was like, what is going on? I see people pulling Cam in the back, and I see people pulling Red pulling people in the back. All right, so I tried to get a hold out of everything that is going on here to understand. I'm not going to understand everything. So, as usual, I'm not the be all end all. So, anyone has comments, y'all can drop them in here. All right. Oh, I don't know why that popped on here. Okay. I didn't like it. I'm not enjoying Miss Fee as everyone else. And Jared needs to go. He is so irky. Agree. He doesn't owe her an explanation. What he aggressively approached her like that? It's a game. Okay. What do I got here? All right. I have notes always. The reason I didn't hop on here exactly on time was because I had a work meeting that took extra long for some reason. So normally I would have all this stuff like right up here, but I'm playing catch up a little bit. Okay. So Mama Felicia believes that Blue, Cam, Red, and Jag are pulling together a side group. She never trusts and Bowie, I think. She never trusted Blue, Cam, or Red, but she did trust Jag. So Jag was the one that she got the most upset about. So Cameron apparently was pulling Cameron apparently pulled Blue into a side room to have a side conversation that she didn't know about. And we all know that Mama Fee does not like Blue and she does not trust Blue. But for some reason, she attached that conversation between Blue and Cameron to Jag. She approached Jag aggressively and she was like, I need to make sure you're not effing with me. So he was like, yo, let's do this in the side room. Let's not do this publicly. She got right in his face. She's like, I'm looking in your eyes, looking at you eye to eye, and asking you like straight up, y'all better not be trying to pull this secret side alliance thing. Because if you do that, I'll put your ass up. Just tuning in. What has happened? Yeah, that's where I'm at. Good afternoon. Yes, as Tammy said, please like, subscribe, share, and hit your notification bells. Thank you for reminding me. I don't always say that. I need to say that every single one of these. Dumb move. Yeah, so she showed her cards there and she acted out of emotions, and that was not a good look for her. It was entertaining though. I enjoyed watching it, but it was not a good look. It happened very fast. So she has been observing that group, apparently, the one that I just mentioned, of Cameron, Red, possibly Corey, Bowie, Blue, and Jag. And she's feeling paranoid. She's feeling paranoid and thinking that that group is going to rally, and that if one of the people from this side group wins, she is going to be put up on the block next week. And she was trying to push really hard yesterday for this group of 7. Let me see. Sorry if I keep pulling up my notes, but I do not have the memory to keep up with all the different alliances that are going on. So I have so many notes written down. So many notes written down. I can't even keep track of all these notes at this point. But y'all know the 7 that they put together yesterday. Yeah, I can't even find out where it was. But they had a group of 7 that they put together yesterday. And she was like, we need to keep this 7 strong, because the 7 after this week, so they had 17, they lost 2. So after this week, they're going to have 14 in the house. So the way she's viewing it is like, if we stick with Savage 7, yes, thank you for that. If we stick with this 7, then it means that if one of our 7 wins, we're gonna have the majority. We could put the two from the other side on the block, and then our 7 is in the majority, and we can vote somebody else out from the other side. We can pick them off like that. And then her thing is like, we could do like the cookout, because she referenced the cookout. She's like, we could do like the cookout, and once we get it down to just us, we can duke it out whichever way we deem best, but we have to stick to the 7. Now, here's the thing, CRM. I called this. Everyone was like, Miss Felicia is nice, sweet, and funny. And I'm not saying that those things are not true, but I saw her press people medium temperature while Riley was still in the house. While everything was going on with Riley, she wasn't at a 10 like she was today. She was at like a 5 or a 6. And I saw signs of her having that in her to really, really, really get in somebody if she gets paranoid, and if she gets upset, and if she thinks somebody's trying to play her. So I knew that that was going to be a possibility. Did I know that it was going to happen right now and that it was going to be Jag? No, that caught me off guard. Did I think that that would happen at some point in the game later on? Yes. Now, there's a second thing that I want to talk about. It scared them, though. They know she isn't playing with children. She will put their behinds in permanent timeout. There's a second thing, though, that I want to say. For those of you who are only familiar with Sari, as in, I know that she was on Survivor, and I know that she was on The Traitors, and you didn't watch those shows, there was something that I was paying attention to today. She's part of the fires. Like, she will light the match, right, for the fire that's going on. Every single one of these arguments that have been happening in the house, she was in the room when the person was getting mad. She was throwing out things out there. Oh, yeah, you guys think it's nothing for her to be like, oh, yeah, Red's a snake. America is a snake. I don't trust this person. I don't trust that person, when she's in the room with Felicia and she's in the room with Izzy. Then they go around the house yelling at everybody, right? And it looks like Sari's not doing anything. Sari is doing something. She is planting those ideas and doubts in those people's heads. And then when Izzy, or when Felicia, or when whoever else takes her bait and runs with it, goes and gets in somebody's face, and then they get mad, and then they get mad at that person and yell at them, who's the person that is comforting them? Sari just did that with Jag. She knew everything that Mama Fee was mad about. She pretended like she didn't really know. Well, I've only heard this and this, and I've only heard this and that, right? And then she's the one who's actually talking to them and being like, I'll talk to Felicia. That was wrong of her. Like, I'll talk to her, I'll calm her down. And then she talks to her, and Felicia apologizes to Jag. Jag thinks Sari had nothing to do with it, and it was just some rogue random thing. Some random thing that Felicia just did on her own. And now Jag has probably a greater level of trust and respect for Sari. That's the same thing that happened with Riley. Sari was right in that room with all those people that were talking about Riley this and Riley that. I don't trust Riley. I don't like Riley. We need to get rid of Riley. But then she's the one comforting Riley, hugging her and being like, you don't deserve this. I don't know why they're gunning for you, whatever. She knows why. So she's a dangerous player in this game. She's a dangerous player in this game. Now, while I agree with you that it scared them, Tammy, she's playing with a bunch of Gen Z players. So now, with the combination of her winning an HOH, and then with the way that she is handling the HOH, and the fact that everybody in the house, minus Heisem, knows about this Heisem plan, which, by the way, I wonder if the feeds are back on yet. But everyone knows about this Heisem plan. If the other side wins, yikes, man. I am interested in it for the drama, but if I'm putting my gameplay hat on, if I were them, I would want to keep Heisem because Heisem is a competition winner. Heisem would be a good shield for them. He's somebody who wins competitions, and they wouldn't be the first people on his target list. Now, would I want him to get all the way to jury? No. I would want him to be there to help them knock off maybe 2 or 3 more from the other side. Then I'd want to get rid of him. Because the thing is, he can't win HOH every single week. No, they aren't. So I'm not really. I think that as of now, they're not on yet. So I wonder if they're doing the veto ceremony because it's pretty late. They usually do the veto ceremony a little bit earlier. But I can't wait to find out if she sticks to her guns, if she actually chooses Heisem, and if she does, I would love to see what happens after that. And you know what? I'll tell you guys this too. If Heisem sits on the block next to Cameron, I feel it is no guarantee that Cameron goes home. And you might be saying, oh yeah, they all agreed that Cameron's going home. They all agreed that this is a unanimous thing that everybody, not Cameron, Heisem, sorry. They all agreed that Heisem's going home. The whole house knows of the plan of Heisem to go home. This group is wishy-washy. I said this yesterday. This group changes their mind more than they change their underwear. So, therefore, I'm not fully convinced that Heisem's going to be the pick. I'm not fully convinced that even if they put him as the replacement Nam, that he's not going to talk his way off the block. Because I think that Heisem is a much more convincing speaker than a Cameron. I think that Cameron feels like he's still there because he's so good at convincing people of things, especially when you hear his late night conversations with Red. You think that man thinks that he's excellent at the game. But I think Cameron is terrible at the game, terrible reads of the game. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Cameron actually thought it was a good idea to talk to Felicia and to tell her about this side secret alliance that he's trying to form and ask her to join it. Let me tell you something. That's a bad read. I feel like the older players are more likely to stick to their guns and are more likely to be loyal to their main squad and their main team. So him even alerting her that they have a side plan, she was not the person for him to go to. Like, my man, you couldn't have gone to some floater. She's not a floater. Felicia is not a floater. She has made it clear what side she's on. She has made it abundantly clear. She has made it abundantly clear what side she's on. So talking to her about it was just giving the other side of the house intel. And obviously she's going to go right back and she's going to tell Izzy and she's going to tell Sari. I don't think she's that connected to Izzy like that, but Izzy is always up Sari's butt, so she's telling Izzy things by default. But at the end of this whole confrontation that she had with Jag, asking Jag what's up, if y'all are trying to flip the votes, if y'all are trying to get me out next week and all this stuff, Sari kind of calmed the whole thing down, and Felicia apologized. They hugged it out. The next thing that I saw was Felicia was having a conversation. Felicia and Sari were having a conversation with Red. So it's like I see that Sari is taking advantage of all these little fires around the house, and the fires are not with the people on her side. If you guys have noticed, the fires are all related to the side that has Cam and Red, Bowie, all these either middle people, floaters, or other side people. And she's using this to gather information and taking advantage. Like, Felicia still has a few more days as HOH. So it's like between that and the veto competition, she's taking advantage of gathering as much information as she can about that side and trying to use it to her advantage and trying to somewhat flip some of the floaters to lean towards her side. Because I've listened to Sari enough to know that she knows that certain people are not ever going to be firmly entrenched in her side. She even said people will be stupid not to have multiple different deals on the table. But that's what's going on with that. I'm hopping off. I have a few things to do. I have a lot of things to do, actually, not even a few. But I did say that I'm going to hop on once the veto ceremony is done and the feeds are back up. I'm definitely going to hop back on and discuss the choices and whatever I'm seeing on the live feeds. I'll be back on here. Who knows when that's going to happen? Maybe in a couple of hours. There's no episode tonight, so tonight's a good time for me to hop on and we can discuss everything. But I just had to make this separate one because Felicia put the press on Jag. I have that on my Twitter. I have it on my YouTube. I'm sure you guys can find it other places. Those of you who have the feeds, you can rewind the feeds. I can't tell you an exact time, but I know that it was like between 3 and 4 Eastern time. Maybe like around 3:30-ish. But people have all those timestamps, so you guys can find that. Yeah, I do have a few reminders, but none of that stuff is set in stone, so I'm not even going to mention those things right now. See you later. I would say the jury is out on that. I have to wait and see. I'll have a better a better feeling on that probably 4 weeks from now. But I will say that what she's doing right now, as of right now, is masterful. But there's just so many variables for her that could go wrong for me to already put her up there like that. But I'm rooting for her. I will say that. I'm definitely rooting for her. And thank y'all for your support. And we will definitely talk soon.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But, yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what?
Thank
But
you.
I like this Canadian.
Well,
I like this one.
well,